Let's now bring in President Carter's former speechwriter and special assistant for religious outreach, Dr. Robert Maddox. Dr. Maddox, thank you for being with me this morning. An honor to have you on the show.
Thank you. It is a delight and a very painful experience to be here this morning. It was inevitable. We knew he was failing, but we're never ready for something like that.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's the thing I keep thinking is we knew it was coming, but it still manages to just take your breath away. And you knew him well.
Yes.
How are you remembering him this morning?
He and I first met in 1967, a very long time ago. I was fresh out of seminary and had become pastor of the First Baptist Church of Vienna, Georgia. Now, that is not Vienna, that is Vienna, and it is near Plains. And in the summer of 67, I needed a preacher while I was gone on vacation. And I picked up the phone and called Jimmy. And he came and preached. He did it a couple of times. Um, and later at the White House, he said, I often preached for Bob, but every time I came, he left. So we go back that far and very cordial relationship through all these years.
It's just unbelievable, origin story for the two of you. Talk to me about his faith. He was a man of very profound faith, publicly, personally. How did his relationship with God really shape decisions, relationships that he had?
I think several factors came in on that. One, he grew up in the Baptist church in Plains, Georgia. It was totally segregated, and yet his best friends were Black people. He talks about going to the movies and all with his friends. He says he spent many nights next door in the house of his Black friends there in the little bitty village, hardly a village, of Ranger out from Plains. Miss Lillian, his mother, had a profound influence on him because she was in fact the town doctor, or the county doctor, even though she was a nurse. She treated everybody cordially, well, not cordially, bluntly, equally. Miss Lillian was a very unique, strong, no nonsense woman with a heart of gold. And I think that as much as anything else, she imparted that to Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, and he was the first U.S. president born in a hospital, right? Because his mother was a nurse.
I did not realize that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the hospital was in Plains, and his mother uh, was really the doctor. I mean, there was a doctor in the town there, but Miss Lillian uh, could do all of that. So she was quite the person, and a profound influence on his life. The church and God and the Bible and friendships and family were his life. And what I admired about his presidency was he was totally committed to the American people. And he often made decisions that were but politically counterproductive. But he was persuaded, oftentimes against the advice of his top people, that this is what we needed to do at this point, and he did it, and he did it well. And history will show how well and competent he was. Uh, I have nothing but the greatest of admiration for President Carter. They were always very cordial to Linda and me. We were not the kind of friends that you drop by the house for coffee uninvited, but we often went to Plains. I frequently preached at his church, the Maranatha Baptist Church. We were always cordially welcomed there. Uh, the first time I attended a Sunday school class, uh, the crowd had not yet begun to get to the proportions that it did. And he was teaching away, and I styled myself a pretty good Bible scholar. And he asked me, just out of the blue, some very minute Bible story, Bible person. And I said, Mr. President, I don't know that story. I don't know who you're asking me about.
He
And
blew you away with his knowledge.
he chuckled and he said, you did not read your Sunday school lesson. And I made a point never to go back to Sunday school without having read my lesson.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.